Hey, party people, and welcome back to MVM. And yes, we're doing something a little bit different today. We're actually doing a little crossing here for a very special list for 2021. I hope you enjoy it. I'm here with Alex from Board Game Co. And today we're going to be talking about the top 10 most disappointing games of 2021 because they can't all be stinkers. But first, let me make sure I get to my introduction properly, I should say. Alex, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. I'm having a fun time. You know how great I'm doing? I had to cheat on this list to get a 10th in because I wanted to be things that I actually had to give disappointment around. So I'm cheating a drop on this list.
Okay.
That's the kind of year I've had. It's been good games.
So, okay, see, this is exactly what I didn't want you on here because I don't want you to dance, okay? Take off your dancing shoes.
Oh, one is dancing. One is dancing. The other 9 are genuine disappointments with caveats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take off your slippers. Let's actually talk about some games that we were disappointed in because some of them will be, and I know this just for me, like some of them will just be like, hey, that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
That kind of feeling.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, dang, man, that was kind of a bummer.
I'm going to argue with you on some of these.
Then some will be a total miss, and then ones will be like, wow, that was a fail, brother.
So and for context, at least for my side of things, this isn't my top 10 worst games. These are games that I expected something from, which means even there are some here that really I did not like. But many of them are games that I thought they'd be here, and they're here. And here's just not good enough for where I wanted it to be, which it doesn't mean it's a bad game, but it's disappointed.
Vast majority of these games are ones that I was just like, that's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I was like, dang it, man. They had an opportunity here and they missed it. Something like that. I'm going to argue with you. I don't hate games. They're just a game. Honestly, they're just games.
Yeah.
So whatever. So I'll go ahead and let you start here. Number 10.
So starting off the bat, on my end, I'm starting with the main one I'm cheating with, which is not a disappointing game. It's a disappointment. And that disappointment is specifically, well, it's around BloodStone. And it's not the game. It's not the game. Have you played this one? Have you played this one?
Yes, I have.
I like BloodStone.
Love it.
I enjoyed it. A lot of fun. I'm disappointed that it's canceled. And not just canceled. I'm okay with cancels. I'm okay with that. Right. But it canceled and it didn't come back 3 months later. It's like, hey, we'll be back in like 8 months. And I'm like, I was not okay with that. When it canceled, I was like, that's fine. Recoup, rehaul, reshape your thing. Do what you need to do. Bring us a better game. I'm cool with that. More heroes, more powers, more better price point. I'm fine with that. I liked you. I will be patient. Good things come to those who wait. But it's not supposed to be good things come to those who wait for 8 more months. It was supposed to be a 2-month delay.
Yeah.
BloodStone is great. BloodStone is fun. BloodStone is just, I really enjoyed this one. And then they're like, we'll see you in a while, buddy. Here's some other games in the meantime to keep you busy. And so my first disappointment, the only one that I'm really cheating on to this level is just, I'm disappointed this canceled. I'm disappointed they made me wait 8 months for the Kickstarter to come back.
Here's the thing, and we played it. We both played it, and we know it's good. That's the thing. We know it's good. But there were some things that needed to be addressed with the campaign, no question. With the price, what the value of the game, you know, like, and it wasn't really explained well.
Yep.
As well. So, like for me, the solo, the campaign part of the game just wasn't explained that well at all. Like it didn't give me a value of the game. You know, because people want to know, is it just this beautiful skirmish game? Yes, and the gameplay mechanics are easy to grasp, and it's a very inviting game, and you get to throw a ton of dice very quickly in this game.
And do a lot of fun things with them.
When you have a game like that feels mechanically light to people, you got some explaining to do when you ask for a certain amount of money. Yeah. It is a very big box game because that's what they go for in this publisher. But yeah, I totally understand. Like when you play the waiting game, you play the game of the relevance game, right?
Yeah.
And that's what this game is walking the lines of. And then they have Tidal Blades 2 coming out, which I've played, and it's awesome as well.
That's in my top 10 surprises if we're talking about like,
hopefully it funds well enough where that can move forward, and then maybe we have this game come back up. I don't know. Maybe I think probably after that now.
This is coming after Tidal Blades Rise and the Fall. This is coming mid-2022, which means, again, they're making me wait. And like yourself, like I agree with you. When I saw the campaign cancel, I was almost relieved. I was like, okay, good. They're taking a step back.
Right.
I just didn't want to wait a year for it to show up again. That's all.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
That's my number 10. My only real cheat. To you, sir.
My number 10 hurts so much to say. Oh, Dice Throne Adventures, man. Dice Throne Adventures.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I love Dice Throne. I love Dice Throne. Dice Throne is one of my probably it's in my top 20 games of all time. I just love that game.
Yeah.
And I wanted this adventure game. I asked for it. I even asked the team, I wanted it. Please tell me about it. I got to play it. I had the prototype. So this is even a good example of what happens. You play a prototype and you like the prototype.
No, you like the prototype, but you didn't like the final game?
Then you get to the final copy. Is your love still there? Is your love still there?
What happened?
And I did, and I played it. You know what? It just, I don't know. Maybe I was so caught up in just having the ability to play. And the thing is the boss fights are fun.
Okay.
It's just the dungeon crawling part is not so exciting. Once you play it, a little bit, it just is not as exciting. And the content, there's just some cool parts about it, but it didn't blow me away like the rest of the products did. That's what I would say. Like, it's such a minor disappointment, but it was just like, I wanted this to be like, epic, Like, I really wanted this to be blow me away epic, and I felt like from prototype to final,
it didn't.
Somewhere it went down a notch for me.
Hey, I'm not listening.
It's not a bad game at all.
Yeah, I'm not listening yet.
It's not a bad game
because I read the rules for this. I'm prepared to dive into it. I'm hoping to do it as soon as I can with my wife. We both like Dice Throne, so I'm going to ignore you and pretend we just have a difference of opinion until I have a chance to go into myself. But
I think you're going to have fun right away. The level up system, like the way you get items and stuff, it's cool. But I think about halfway through the campaign, you'll either be all in or you'll be like, I get it.
Back to regular Dice Throne. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Still, man, just a little disappointed. That's why I have it as my number 10.
Very cool. So my number 9 is one that I still have in my collection, as I think two of the rest of these games are games that I have in my collection. The rest are games that I might, even if I temporarily still have it, they're going away in some way, shape, or form. So, and my number 9 in that case is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. Okay.
Yeah.
This is
really?
I know you love it. We're gonna argue. I'm enjoying this video already.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. So I walked into Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition knowing that you loved it. I remember watching your coverage, knowing that Board Game Coffee loved it, knowing that a whole bunch of people who got their hands on it loved it, and it's one that it's from Terraforming Mars, which I love, and it's from Race for the Galaxy, which I love, and so you combine the two. This, by all accounts, should be a game I love. And to be clear, I do love it. I have it in my collection. I enjoy playing it. But I walked into it kind of expecting, this is on me, because I love Terraforming Mars. It's my gold standard. I walked into this expecting that I would enjoy it as much as Terraforming Mars, and I didn't. It was like, here's Terraforming Mars, and here was Ares Expedition. And I was like, it's good. I like it, and I really do. This almost made my top 100 of 2021. It was just out. It was like in the next 3 or 4 games. It's really, really good. I really like it. I still play it. I will say this. This is my preferred pick for solo play. If I'm playing Terraforming Mars or Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition for solo play, I prefer Ares Expedition. But as far as, it's not a bad game. I love it. I like it. I own it. I'm happy I have it. I'm excited for the fact that there's an upcoming Kickstarter with more stuff coming. Excited for that. But it was a disappointment in terms of what I expected versus what I ended up playing.
Yeah, this was actually, I totally disagree with you on this game.
I know.
That's because I don't like Terraforming Mars.
I know that too.
And there's a passion about how much I don't like that game.
Oh, I know that too.
This one here, there's a passion inside of me. But I like this game quite a bit.
It's really
I like
good.
This game quite a bit. Ease of play, has similar vibes, but that even the Race for the Galaxy, I remember I had a really bad play experience with that game. So it was like when I finally had these two games, this two games merged and meet, you would think, maybe not for me, and I ended up liking it. So I really did. I ended up liking it, and I'm very appreciative of that design to the point where I still have it over here. Now my friends who love Terraforming Mars, a couple of them didn't like it. So.
But have they continued to play it?
For me, it stuck with me. For me, it was like, yes.
Because the question is, have they continued to play it?
No, they don't. They didn't even want
So
it.
that I think that's the thing. I think people who love Terraforming Mars will walk into this the way I did and be so disappointed. Like we gave it several
Yeah.
plays before our first coverage. Our first coverage was like a semi-review, semi-compares. We gave it several plays and then we were still disappointed. But then as I continued to play it, and to be fair, I did make some small house tweaks to it to make it more like Terraforming Mars. So there is that change to it. But it
How dare
has.
you?
I know. It has
How
grown
dare
on
you?
me. It really has.
Yeah.
It's still not Terraforming Mars, but it's one that I've come around to for sure. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
That's my number 9.
You're just making up stuff.
It's okay. Only one other game on this list do I own. The rest are all leaving. And I'm gonna fight with you on some of these.
Oh my gosh. All right. This one here, this one, oh man. This game has such an opportunity and I gave up on it and I really don't feel like I should have. That's why it's on the back end.
Okay.
Because everybody attached to the project I liked.
Mm-hmm.
The people behind it, like the way they went through all the research, they got the right team, diverse team,
Mm-hmm.
good writers. Like they had this harebrained games that makes some of my favorite video games. All this stuff, everything was there, but the execution was so bad, and that was Sea of Legends.
Really? Okay.
So this is a big miniatures game. You are basically pirates,
Mm-hmm.
and the pirates need to go around the board and resolve things. But there's also like relationships and rivals. But everything is interacted through the app,
Okay.
and the app
Was not
literally
ready.
destroys the experience. It was not ready at all. Like it was. Well, it was somewhat playable.
Yes, but that no. When I say not ready, I don't mean it wasn't playable. I'm saying it wasn't ready. It was functional, but not ideal.
Right. Yeah. And I just got tired of waiting. So I kept trying to play it and it just wasn't working. And then like just the experience wasn't exciting to me.
Yeah.
There's a better game out there. Like to me, there's a game and I should have put this on my surprises. It's called Shiver Me Timbers.
Okay.
It is literally the best pirate game I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, like I've
Better
been
than
pitting
Seas of
every
Havoc?
game against, dude. Oh, let's not have that conversation. So,
Okay.
let's not have that conversation right now. But actually, yeah. So this one right here, it's got some good elements to it. Like I said, that relationship and rival thing that you have to choose at the beginning of the game is cool. You're basically running around these maps and putting in the events into the in the app. It's got some. I believe it had voice, but I just did not care after having a bad experience with it at least 3 times.
Yeah. I mean,
And I was like, maybe they'll iron this out, maybe they won't. I waited I waited a little bit and came back to it, and I was like, and I even asked for a copy of this game,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, I don't want to bash this game, man. I think they put a lot of hard work into it, and these guys were new.
I think it's a
but it
good
was
game.
just a
I just think it's problems behind it. Meaning, if I recall correctly, the game itself, when it actually arrived to the first people, was a brick. Meaning, the app was not ready yet. They managed to get it.
Even done, I don't think.
Yeah, they managed to get it
done.
turned out pretty quickly, but that should tell you everything you need to know. If the app was not functional quickly, let's desperately get you the app because the game's coming and you have it already, they had issues. And I think this has now unfortunately become the gold standard for one of the reasons why app-based games are a problem, even though they usually aren't.
Yeah.
I think from people who played the game, I've heard very positive things since then, but I think there was an initial hurdle over it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do wish them the best because they have another game that I think they put to Kickstarter and they canceled it. I'm not sure if it has an app in it.
Nope, it's
but
not.
Now they have to realize that there's a gold standard out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's Plaid Hat games.
Oh,
and they have
really?
the web browser based stuff.
Okay.
And like Plaid Hat is killing it with the Forgotten Realms. This game that I'm playing right now that's coming out soon called Familiar Tales.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just perfect.
And then Lucky Duck as well.
Lucky Duck as well, just completely killing it as far as production and all that stuff. Now they're a small publisher. I don't expect that level.
Correct.
But yeah, it really sucks. And you're right. They probably are getting pegged a little bit harder than they should for, being not executing on apps and stuff like that. That's unfortunate. I don't believe,
Yeah.
it just didn't work.
It's just
for me.
unfortunate. Yeah. My number 8, if you head on over to our other video, Top 10 Surprises of 2021 over on my channel, we sing the praises of a publisher who puts out amazing games that are very charming and fun and great and easy to learn and easy to play and very pretty and very cheap and very affordable. And yet Kabuto Sumo was one of my disappointments.
Oh my gosh, Alex, what is wrong with
I
you?
love board game tables. All their games...
You know what? This is over.
Nope.
This is over.
We're going to argue. I told you. This is
over.
not the first, not the last. We're going to argue.
Turn off the mics.
Kabuto Sumo,
I can't believe you.
I want to love. Again, if I didn't, it wouldn't be on my disappointment. So it would just be a bad game.
Alex,
I
quit
want
dancing.
to
What's
love.
wrong with it? Alex, quit dancing.
Sure,
What's wrong
sure.
with it? I'm being defensive.
Absolutely. No, be defensive. Be defensive. The core premise is amazing. The core premise... Oh, look, Cove, awesome. The core premise...
No, that's what I was going to say. Cover's having a great time playing Kabuto Sumo.
And I'm sure a lot of people are. And the premise of pushing a little token onto the board and knocking things off is delightful. But yet the actual...
Pushing poo, by the way.
That's true, he is, the little dung beetle. The actual execution on this game involves a lot of tedious back and forth. For a game that should be a 15-20 minute fast, fun romp, this game drags. There are many ways you can house rule it. There are. And those ways will all improve the game. Whether it's faster pushing, whether it's changing where you knock things off. There's a whole bunch of ways that people have come up with to house rule it. And yet I kind of walked away from it thinking, like, I don't know if I care enough to be trying to house rule this game. I love board game tables. Most of the games have either stuck in my collection in some way or another, or I've enjoyed and moved on from. But like, I have a lot of the games. I have Bites. I have the whole Factory Fun of Barrel Raid, all that stuff. I have tons of other games. Kabuto Sumo, I wasn't expecting a lot from it. I was expecting it to be a fun, simple experience. And it became a tedious slog every time you play the game. I have not enjoyed my time with Kabuto Sumo. It was a great premise.
For when people say that, when they say that they were going in a back and forth, I'm thinking to myself, they might be playing the game wrong. Because they might be playing the game wrong. Like, if you're playing a 3 and 4 player game, people are playing... No, I'm just saying, when people play a 3-4 player game, I've heard people playing until, like, the last person standing. I'm like, the game's over when one person falls off, guys. Like... You know, like this, there's small things like that. And if you're playing your strategy, the little strategy that is in the game with your pieces, just putting them in there mixes things up enough where it shouldn't be a stalemate by just going on the other side and pushing the other way, because the things slide off of each other.
So that's the problem. You try to line up a good push and you don't actually push. You just kind of slide pieces around, and that piece on the other side is totally safe and doesn't move, and it's all good, and you rinse and repeat for another push, and it's great. The first 10 minutes is a lot of fun. The next 10 minutes is not making progress, and the next 10 minutes is not making progress. Every time I finish the game, I have been happy the game was over. I've been like, thankfully, finally.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're wrong. Moving on. Jesus. Oh my gosh.
Your number 8.
My blood is boiling. My scotch is boiling.
Just wait. There's one more that's gonna get you.
All right.
Higher on this list.
Oh, I cannot believe you right now.
There might be more, but I knew there were at least 3 picks that we'd be fighting over, and we've already done 2. 2 out of the way.
I was gonna put this on here. I'm thinking, like, should I even keep this on here or not? But whatever. Tiny Epic Pirates.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so I have a thing with Tiny Epic. I have like a love, not love. Like, there's games that, for the majority, I'm not a big fan of their games. But the thing is that the one that I started with, Tiny Epic Galaxies, and the one that's coming out, Tiny Epic Dungeons, are both very good games.
Okay.
Both very good games. In the middle somewhere is Tiny Epic Tactics.
Okay, haven't played that one.
This one right here, super fiddly. Like, it's just super fiddly.
But it's got a rondelle. I love rondelles.
And if you play, I know. I know. But for the AI part, if you play solo in this game, oh my God, it's just too much, man. It's way too much to get to the fun. It's way too much AI upkeep to get to the fun. To get to your turn your turn's simple. Their turn is like, do this, and that, this, that, and that, and then that's their turn. I'm like, why is this so hard?
Gotcha. And I don't love autonomous, so that would do it for me.
So yeah, this game was just a miss for me. And you don't hear much about it for a reason, I think.
Crossed $1 million the first
But
campaign.
thankfully, I know. But this one, no, it wasn't this one. It was the
Nope,
dungeons.
Dungeons crossed
It
2
was the
million.
dungeons.
This is the first campaign to cross 1 million.
Oh, yeah. This one just didn't work for me. Whereas the dungeons one that's coming out is really freaking good. Now, hopefully that holds up when I play the final version. But yeah, this one, it was just a miss.
I've always been intrigued by their games. I've always enjoyed their games. I've never loved their games. I found that there is often a sacrifice
Yeah.
in making it tiny and epic. Tiny and tiny sometimes works. Epic and epic sometimes works. The
Yeah.
sacrifice of trying to make something tiny
Yeah.
but epic, I found, is a challenge that often I think these games are fantastic for the right person, but I'm not that
Yes.
right person. So
Scott
yeah.
Al- Scott Alms is a really good designer.
Fantastic.
I had a kind of a time where I was really I was around when Tactics came out. There was like 3 games that came out because he makes really good small card games too, like for Button Shop.
Yeah. Yes. Love them.
And I just I love his designs. Generally, every game he makes is mechanically solid. It really pretty much is, right? But even what was that game? Cosmic Colonies, I think was his too. So he does really good games. It's just that these tiny epic ones are hit or miss with me.
Yep.
And I'm just finding that that's the pattern. And I just kind of tread lightly going into this one. And I tread super lightly going into the Dungeons one. But I think that may be their best game.
Gotcha.
I'm thinking, I really do. After playing the prototype and stuff, I think that may be their best game.
Cool.
This one just was a miss.
Well, my number seven is one that it's a Legacy game I didn't finish, which is rare for me. It's really rare. Usually Legacy elevates a game to me, and that's what I was hoping for here, and it might be why it's my fault.
Yeah.
But for me, Clank Legacy is one that did not work for me. 8.7 on Board Game Geek, the 32nd highest game on Board Game Geek. I never loved Clank, to be fair, so this is partially my fault. I always thought Clank was good, but it was never my preferred deck building game. But I figured a good game combined with Legacy, which elevates the game, is excellent. And Clank Legacy is going to do that for me. It's going to be amazing. And it was mostly spending half a game applying stickers to a map, followed by a minute or 2 of gameplay, followed by applying stickers to a map, followed by a few minutes of gameplay, followed by applying stickers to a map. We sat there playing this game that we were so sick of the fact that we weren't playing the game. I actually liked the game. I enjoyed the Legacy. But we got so sick of just resetting and pausing to just go through all the sticker applications that we got 5 games in and we're like, I think we're going to play a game now instead of applying stickers to a map.
Wait. Is it full on reset? Are you? I mean, you don't give spoilers away, but I'm just saying, is it that much of a reset?
The amount of mid-game stickering that went on when we played this game, it was a significant amount to the point that it took away... I mean, when I color it as 50-50, I'm definitely exaggerating, but it was a significant enough amount of mid-game interruptions that it took away from all of our enjoyment at the table. There were 3 of us, we were going through the game, all 3 of us unanimously at Game 5 were like, I think we're good now. I think there's one section we got to a point where the amount of stickering going on, everyone was literally just taking breaks. It was okay, let's take a 20-minute break while we try to apply stickers. It was, again, I'm missing something. I'm wrong. It's 32 on Board Game Geek. It's an 8.7. People love this game. I am missing something, but for me, it was a giant disappointment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did not work for me. No spoilers or anything. Just I like the game. The gameplay was solid. The sticker applying was an interruption to an experience I was enjoying, and I just gave up eventually. That's my number 7.
Mine is My Little Farm Shop.
Really? That's
My Little Farm Shop.
That's Pegasus, right?
Yeah, the Pegasus video game that I was looking forward to coming to the U.S. and it ended up being there you go. My Farm Shop, not My Little Farm Shop. So I call it My Little Farm Shop, like My Little Pony.
Looking for the other one.
Click on the board real quick so I can make sure I get it. But yeah, you're basically taking dice and you're trying to trigger things that are on your board, and you'll eventually be buying. You're getting resources, and you are taking the resources and basically you're triggering the slots that are on there, trying to build up a little engine, and then and try to score points. This game is one of the driest games thematically I've ever played. Now,
but how is it mechanically?
I'm saying that because there's liquor in my body, but I'm trying to not be hyperbolic about it. But it has some of the ugliest artwork ever.
What?
And the component quality is just not
Okay.
that good. Like it's just not. It's just not that good.
I can't comment on the
And
quality,
art's
but the
just
art's
that.
the art's nice.
But okay, brother. But what I found is I do see how people could like the little modules that you add onto it that
Okay.
makes the game like the gameplay. But for me, it was just I felt like the game was too long for what I wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like even with the extra stuff, like I just wasn't impressed with what I was playing. And it's unfortunate because I was waiting for this game like half a year, and when I finally got my hands on it, I was just like, not only have I had better, I'm not. This is not a. This was a total like miss for me. I made a bad judgment on this one. I thought I had seen it right when I saw it on Board Game Geek when they played it. I think that was Board Game Geek they played it on their game night.
I believe they
and
did.
I thought I had it right in my head. I was like, oh, I think I'll just like this. It seems right. And it didn't work out well for me. Probably should have. I probably went in too blind. Should have read the rule book before I bought it.
Oh, I'm hitting add to cart in this one. I'm going to find out if you're right.
I'll bring it to you. You can have it.
Okay, my number 6. My number 6 is a game that's been around for a while, and I thought I would like it. I thought I would, and I do, with caveats, kind of like similar to Clank Legacy. This is going to be Western Legends. Western Legends is a game that...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, So like Clank Legacy, the core game is actually really, really fun. I think it's a really solid game. The best way I can describe Western Legends is a game that I love my turn. And then I'll spend most of the game waiting for my turn because I don't care at all about yours. It's a game...
Oh.
Have you played this one?
Yes.
I find that the game it's a bit of a sandbox. Now, it's not a classic sandbox in the sense that there often are 2 or 3 scripted pathways of types of things you're trying to do, but it gives you agency, it gives you choices. You wander around the borders, you try to collect gold or interfere with other cowboys, whatever, or outlaws, or capture them if they've gone any outlaw route, or deliver cattle, rustle cattle. There's a bunch of options you can take in the game. You can gamble, you can a bunch of things you can do, and the expansions will open it up. I haven't played with all the expansions. I have played with the anti-up expansion. I want to try it more to see if it made it better or worse.
Yeah, I need to play with that, yeah.
I really like my turn. I just don't care about yours. And the problem is, it's weird because you kind of need to have the other players there because they do affect the gameplay. They do affect that aspect of going outlaw, of having other players chase you down and take you out. You need the other players in the game. I like the card play, I like the engine, I like everything else, but I don't like the fact that when I play this game, most of the time I'm just waiting for my turn to come around so I can do the thing I want, and then I spend the rest of the time waiting on yours, and I only care about yours when it happens to be that I've gone outlaw and you're close by, or vice versa, you've gone outlaw and you're close by. So you need the players there for the interaction, but the rest of the time it doesn't. So it's a great game. I see why people like it. I like it too, with caveats and things and situations around it. But I wanted more. I wanted to love this one, and I found that there was a great game hidden in here, but one that it just makes me work too hard to get to.
Yeah, I like this game. It's been a while since I played it. I do like it. I did not love it, and I'm such a Western fan.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's so easy to get me with the Western theme.
Yeah.
Like that Zombicide game got me with the Western. It just peels to me when I see Western. I'm automatically in. But this one right here, it was a decent design, but I want to see what the expansions. Maybe I'll try to play this soon. We'll try to play this again soon, especially with the Anti-Up expansion. I want to see what's going on.
I like Anti-Up.
Man,
I think Anti-Up was a good addition to the game, but it didn't fix the core problem of the downtime to play ratio for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
I missed this game. You get a little aggressive with the card play.
It is.
Right.
It can be fun. Your turn,
sir.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I missed that actually. Now that I think about it. All right. My next one is Gutenberg. Gutenberg is a game that just came out around Essen by Grana Games.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to them. What's the name? Shout out to my buddy Twan for sending this back to me, man. But this one here, whew. All right.
Why did I think this was Capstone?
I saw the dice. No, it's not Capstone. Dice Tower gave this game a really good review.
Yeah.
And I just found this game to be very.
Tom loved it. He put it in his surprises of the year, I think.
Very just kind of. I'll just say it like this: you have this game. Basically, you're trying to fulfill paper orders.
Sure.
As you can see, those cards down there with the letter types on there.
Yep.
They have these cool little the actual types that are wood, that look like them. Totally unnecessary, but awesome. Okay, that's awesome.
Sure.
And you're trying to fulfill those orders by putting those on. putting the A's on the A's, you have all the vowels.
Okay.
And then you're trying to put those on there, and you score points that way. But then you also are trying to get pieces of ink, and you're also trying to trigger off this wheel and go up tracks so that you can get points as well. And I'll explain the wheels in a second. But the ink, the combination of the ink and your skills, which is that like those 4 lines that are going up.
Yeah.
Those skills, you can also get points as well. There's like different things you can get. Now, the coolest part about this game is the action point system, where basically you have a whole bunch of initiative, I should say, system, where you have the first player has 10, the second player has 9, the next player has 8 and 7, like that, right?
Okay.
And you put it behind your little window, and you put how many pieces you want in that action. So you say, hey, I want to put 3 in this action, and I know people won't spend 3 because the person in last place, that will be almost all his stuff. So then we'll go here, I'll put these guys here. And what happens is you unveil them, and whoever has the most of the action gets to go first. Well, of course, since the initiative changes how many pieces you have, there's that thought process of like, ooh, like I can make people spend more money than they want on something, or that kind of stuff like that. That's, to me, the only thing that's cool about this game. And it could be applied to a lot of designs. Other than that, you're just going down the board. Okay, so we're going at the start at the top. We get a card. Okay, so we're at the top of the board. We get a card. Cool. I get another card. Cool. The next one down the board. Now we got to go get ink. So now we got the ink. I'll take this color, and this color ink. You take this color and this color ink. Okay, let's keep moving down the board. Now we're going to get certain specialist cards. So if I get the specialist card, I can go up this track, or I can just go up any track. Okay, now let's go down the board. Now you have these gears. Now the gears are another kind of redeemable quality because when you put the gears in there, you can activate powers, and the gears will turn each round, and they will change what's active each round.
Okay.
Now that sounds cool, but that wears thin really quickly to me. It's cool in practice in the beginning, but it really becomes more like, all right, I've seen what this does, and it doesn't seem very exciting after a while.
Yeah.
So what happened is I went hot, cold. I actually went, I'm okay with this game. It seems decent. Let me play it some more. Then I played it solo a couple of times, and I do not like the solo mode at all. And I don't think this game is good at 2 players. Partly because if you are first or second, basically the board is on the opposite side. It's restricted. It's like less cards to draft from, less or whatever. So it's basically like you get this and I get that. You get this and I get that. You get this and I get that.
Gotcha.
So if you lose, you're just like, well, then I just get the other thing. That's not exciting. And the AI thing with the cards is like 4 cards, and it's just not an inspiring design. Like I just felt like this is a Euro game that we won't remember in a couple months, and that you could say that about any game, but this one is just one of those Essen titles that you're like, ooh, let me get hands on this Euro, and then when you play it, you're like, yeah, you know.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna give them huge bonus points for those scoring markers being reversed as you hit 36, 37, 38.
No,
that's cute,
dude. The types. The graphic design is sweet.
Yeah,
but it's sweet, and that they come in nice little boxes, so you get all the nice little boxes for all the organization. Oh, they got you on all the presentation part. It's just the execution for me. Outside of that system, that the little initiative system, and honestly, that's it for me on that game.
Cool.
But yeah, it was just overall a disappointment.
Well, are you ready for a fight, sir? Are you ready for a fight?
Man, Alex, get the hell off my channel. What you gonna bring up, bro?
Oh boy, this is the one.
What you gonna do?
Just remember, this list is about expectations versus reality. That's why it's a disappointment. This is not a bad.
You got me breathing hard, man.
This is not a bad game.
Come on now.
Not a bad game. This is a game that I was expecting it to be one of my favorite games because of a variety of things, including you, by the way, and it's good. I like it. I enjoy it. I will happily play with you.
What is it?
Merchants of the Dark Road.
Man, get out of here, dude. Log off with that bull.
I like this game. I like it.
Log off.
I don't love it. I like it. It is fun. It's good. The game.
Biggest disappointments out of all the games that came out this year.
Because expectations versus reality. That's what a disappointment is. This is a game where I expected my sights were set so high. And again, I like it. It's a good game. But first of all, it's one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. Period. It's one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. It's right up there with like Dice Throne in terms of like being like just sheer quality.
It's just absolutely ridiculous quality.
And that's the retail. Forget the Kickstarter. That's retail. Is one of the most beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
It's insanity. Like it's one of those games where like I still have my deluxe copy coming, and I plan on still doing an unboxing because I don't care that it's a great game. It's whatever. Yeah. Fine. Number one.
You don't deserve it.
I don't. I'm telling you, I don't.
You don't deserve it.
Number two. It is a good game. It is crunchy. It's got rondels. It's fun. It's got a lot of action systems. All those things. But like
what's the problem, Alex?
The problem is I don't find it compelling enough. I find
stuttering, Alex.
I find the core two things are you're going for money and prestige, right? Okay, with me so far? I don't love that system. I find that effectively what the game has done, it's the same problem I had with Agricola way back in the day, which is when you give me a complex intertwining set of systems that are so rewarding, and then you set the game design so that I kind of have to do the same thing anyways. They've built this wide, massive engine that is very cool to dive into, and then they're like, by the way, though, you kind of have to do it this way because otherwise we're going to take away all your points. So you can't actually choose to specialize. You just have to do these things. And then once you're going down that pathway, it means you kind of have to do the same cycle every single time. You have to pick up the commissions. You don't have a choice around it. You have to do the commissions because you have to drop them off. If you don't do that, you won't get prestige. You have to go to the marketplace because you have to get items. So you have to go down that pathway. The game gives you an incredible intertwining system. And then because of that crippling aspect of the half and half, I find that I only like the game. I don't love it because the rest of the game is...
But that's the thing.
Yeah. It's the same problem I had with Google. I mean, same problem I had. It's
like thematically, the way the game even works makes sense.
It's incredible. Incredible.
Like you're picking up these people, they're going to a spot. You buy like, okay, we need this. I need this stuff. I need this kind of stuff. You got it? Yeah, I got it. Here, I'm going to give you this. You got money. This is the market value. Cool.
Yeah.
I messed with then I go get these missions. Hey, if you take this stuff here, I'll give you this, and it'll give you more. You'll be more popular if you fulfill this mission for me.
Absolutely.
Cool. And then I take it to the spot. Like it makes total sense. Like I actually thought like this could have been a dry Euro. It ended up being a thematic Euro. It's not like it's insanely like it has this deep and rich theme, but it works thematically. And the game is tight, 12 turns. I mean, you got a lot to do in a little bit of time to get points.
And that's the problem. It's a lot to do in a little bit of time with the forcing aspect of both tracks. I feel like, and there's other aspects of it that follow that same game design choice. Like the market's another good example. The market, because of the way
tension.
No, I like
your games?
I like choice.
Tension,
I like choice. I like feeling like I'm not into games that
you like to sit with your little tableau and know that you're going to get this, and this on every turn.
No,
let me put my little cards down here. Look at my icons.
I want to build my engine.
You're just such a Terraforming Mars dude.
Correct, exactly. I am such a Terraforming Mars dude.
Appreciate anything else that doesn't allow you to freely have every resource every time.
You are exactly right.
Nothing wrong with this game, dude.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's a preference thing. But even like the marketplace, it's the same problem. The marketplace has an aspect of safety. We don't have a free market that anything can mix around. It has to be balanced where the staff has to be 5, and as it pivots up, everything else pivots around it. Why do you do that? Because that's safe. It's good game design in order to ensure that people can't manipulate by going to the pick up the people. God. It's a safe game design. It keeps it stable. But it doesn't give you room to have those powerful, cool moments. Everything in this game is safe, it is stable, it works well. People who like optimizing around that will love this game. And I think that people like myself are like, it's really, really good. It's still good. I just wanted it to be more.
You're wrong.
I know. I know.
Let's move on.
Moving on.
Yeah, you're wrong on that one. So next one of my favorite designers. Oh my gosh. Oh, it was such a dud.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a perfect transition for Rocketmen. Okay.
Oh, I love Martin Wallace.
Oh man, I love Martin Wallace, but this game right here.
I mean, I've avoided it because I've heard this, but yes.
Yeah, this one I did. I tried. I really, really tried. So what you're basically doing is you're trying to build a deck, and you're doing this deck building. And you're trying to shoot off to I think it's the moon, then it's off to Mars, I think, and then somewhere else. So basically, you're trying to get this deck and build up a rocket. Like you're literally building up cards that will represent a rocket, and then you're shooting them off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you shoot them off, there's a little risk part to it where you'll have this deck where you flip over, and it will make you go on this route.
Okay.
route to each planet. And if you reach, you go up that track by flipping those cards in the middle. So if you look at where your arrow is right now in the middle of the board, no, right in the middle of the board where you see that little rocket ship there,
Yep.
that's what you're going to flip those cards over, and it'll tell you like how far you've gone on the track.
Okay.
Here's the problem. You could sort of think you got it all right, and then you start flipping these cards, and you don't go as far as you need to go. Well, then you just wasted a bunch of your cards. Yeah.
That's not great.
And it's that's the thing. It's like the risk part to me. I love risk. I love risky games. Like I love that kind of stuff. It's suspenseful. But for this one, I watched my friend crap out on a mission just in the outer space. That first part right there, Terra.
Yeah.
I watched him do it like I think 3 times in a row, and I could just see the defeat in his face.
It's not good game design.
And I was like,
All or
"Oh
nothing.
my god, we have another hour to go."
You can pack up that game and go home, sir.
And like I played it solo several times, and I think that's where people would really like this game. I think people who will like this game best will like it solo.
Okay.
The AI is pretty solid,
Mm-hmm.
but even for me, there's just nothing that excited me about this game. And I get very excited about Martin Wallace games because they're just really good hand management type card games.
Yeah.
This one right here, unfortunately, Rocketmen was just a complete dud for me. And it just wasn't. I mean, graphic design wise, it's very bare minimum. It's not like insanely beautiful either. So if that's something you care about too, not necessarily the game for that. Yeah, just a miss on that one. Unfortunately,
I have never played a Martin Wallace design that I haven't liked, and I'm not playing Rocketmen, so that won't change.
I know, man. Yeah. I know. It's a really man. I just thought it was really disappointing. That was an impulse buy too, unfortunately.
No, I heard mixed things, so I held off on picking this one up, and I continue to hear mixed things, so I continue to hold off on picking this one up. Very cool.
Can't have that 50 back, brother. Can't have that 50 back.
Yeah. My number four is, again, another solid game for the right people who want something drier. I want powers and abilities. I want cool things. I want freedom. I want all that. But this time, we're not talking about a Euro game. This time, we're talking about the area control that is Steamwatchers.
Oh, God. Man, you're brutal. Are you kidding me?
Have you played this?
You're brutal. Yeah.
So we're finding the common denominator. You are totally fine with games that are like, let's give you this core constricting set of stuff and enjoy what you're doing. I want powers and abilities. I want freedom. I want to feel cool. Steamwatchers is, and again, same as what's it called? Merchants of the Dark Road. It is a good game, but I wanted it so much more, and it's not what I wanted in a genre that gives me what I want. I want Blood Rage. I want Kemet. I want Cyclades. I want powers and abilities up the wazoo, left, right, and center. Give me something. Give me a reason to want to play other than simply I move my people into your territory. Steamwatchers gives you. You start off with the factions that give you cool abilities. Great. That's the most exciting part of the game. That's the most exciting part. Everything else from there is downhill. It's pure strategic area control, which is good. It is good. It is well designed. It is rewarding. But it's not what I get in area control. I get into area control so I can do the cool things, not so I can move into your territory and tactically take it over. Also, from a game design stance, it is brutal if you lose early. It is not fun for the losers.
It is.
Yeah.
That is one major thing. It's brutal if you lose early. It is hard to recover.
Yeah.
Unless you have certain factions. Now, I like this game simply because the tactic part is so.
It's very well designed.
Yeah. It's very well designed, and if you have the right factions playing against each other, I mean, there's a dance to this game. There's like a build up to the game that you have. Because once everybody kind of gets a certain amount of troops they need, I think you can only have like 11. Some people don't. If they have 7, they could be just threatening.
Well, it depends on how many you have
attack
support.
Power. Yeah. Some will have extra movement. Like all kinds of stuff. But in this game, just to give you a concept, basically you are fighting over these steam columns, and the steam columns are power, but they're also dangerous.
Yes, they are.
So you're basically trying to keep those for points, because what'll happen is the steam will reduce, but you get points each round for being in control of them, and you're also getting points for being just in control in general, and you're trying to dominate people as well. and get these things like they're called farms, stuff like that. But I found this game. This is, you know what it is. This game actually opened me up a little bit for another game, Ankh. Ankh
I
and
like Ankh.
yeah, like it opened me up, my mind up a little bit. And I don't know if that means that I'm trying to defend this game, but I definitely feel like this is a really solid game. Like this is a very solid game.
The Merchants of the Dark Road and this are both solid games. It's not about solid games. It's about the question is to me disappointment comes from the fact that I want games designed for me because I'm selfish and I'd like to play the games that I like best. And so I've noticed a trend of game design. I've noticed this in Imperium Classics. We saw the same thing. Actually, I should have probably included that in this list now. I'm thinking about it.
God,
I forgot
Alex,
to. In Pipeline, there are a bunch of games out there that are really well designed games and many people will love them. But I like a certain degree of freedom and fun and power in my games. And when you give me something that's more constricting, it's good. And I recognize the game design. But for me, it's still a disappointment.
Yeah, man. I'm literally going to have to like make sure I think again before you're on this channel. You're going to talk about Imperium Classics like that too. We have to talk after this.
Imperium Classics did not make this list. I don't know why. I forgot to include it.
I know, and if it did,
I forgot. No, it wasn't. I went through my list. I must have missed it because I forgot to include it. It would be here. Anyways,
I know how you felt about that game.
Yeah.
I know how you felt.
Same idea. And by the way, this is a good example. Like I get when I reviewed Imperium Classics and I gave my very harsh opinion of the game, and then I got a lot of hate for it because a lot of people love the game.
You did.
But then I got like a good 20 to 30% of my audience was like, yeah, I didn't like it either, and I'm glad like I'm not the only one. Sometimes people want certain things in games.
Yeah, and they can be wrong too. Moving on. CloudAge. CloudAge is going to be another one by one of my favorite designers,
yes,
Mr.
indeed.
Pfister.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you, the only reason why this game is a big disappointment is because it felt like a less compelling version of all his other designs. Like it just felt like it wasn't as an exciting, inspired version. Like still got the same, like these awesome multi-use cards. It's got this really cool mechanic in it where you there's cards behind a sleeve.
Yeah.
And you are like you're looking at the card the way it is, and you're trying to figure out like what's the best resource to grab based on how the card is and set up in there. That right there was innovative. I think that part's innovative. But the part that's going on that board right there, the actual board out in the water, it is some of the most it's very dry. Mm-hmm. It's such a dry experience. Flying across and fighting pirates doesn't feel thematic. The theme that they have, it just really feels pasted on, honestly. There's nothing that really connects you to it. You could open this game and you could put every module in there and play the full board game because they have it where it's like level 1, 2, and 3. You can just add certain parts in. And I believe level 3 is just everything the game has to offer. And I just found it not worth playing through the campaign. So I just put everything in there, hoping that the design would come to me. Other than the fact that this is Pfister with his awesome use of multi-use cards. I've seen it before. I've been there and done that. I want to see something new. And I mean, I've seen people add pieces onto a thing to give, to make a picture, and that picture gives you better resources and stuff like that. Like what you're seeing on that blimp right there in the middle is like they're pieces that you add, and when you add those pieces, they give you extra benefits and stuff like that. And then you add the little jets on the back, so then you get little benefits from that. It seems in the beginning pretty cool, but I swear to you, once you start flying your blimp across that board, it is like this is so blah thematically, and it is so it's not memorable. Nobody's even talking about this game.
Yeah.
Now that's for me, whether I liked it or not. Not talking about it. I had to think about it. I was like, what came out around January? Oh yeah, that's right. And that was one of them. And that stinks, man. It stinks. And that little board over there, the little greenish board right there with I think it's like the water and whatever that research, that was just like, no, absolutely not. So unfortunately, like this all around the solo mode was kind of because it doesn't extend really, doesn't develop any kind of challenge. I felt like I was beating it constantly. So yeah, yeah, overall that was just not the best design for me at all. And Fister, yeah, not his best.
Nice. Or not nice, depending how you look at it.
Not nice.
So my number 3, and all the spicy stuff I think is over. You're going to agree with me on the rest of them or not care enough, is my opinion. I think the main takeaway from this video, honestly, is I just play better games than you, because my disappointments are all good games. So, my number 3 is the only prototype I have on this list. And that's because...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have a prototype. The reason for that is primarily because it's a list about disappointments. And most of the time with prototypes, I'm walking with less expectations. Sometimes there are disappointments, especially if it's from a company or a publisher I love, but I'm usually walking with less expectations. This is the only one that's really a big disappointment to me because it seemed innovative, seemed very cool, art looked great. I even played it on TTS and enjoyed the experience I started with. It's almost like, the difference between you're talking about prototype all the way to production. I played on TTS and enjoyed what I saw, and this is Mythwind.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's...
How dare you?
How dare I?
I haven't played.
Yeah, you did. You did or didn't play it?
It's in prototype form, you son of a...
Oh, 100%. But it's one that I had the chance to play it online, TTS, and I enjoyed my play on TTS. I enjoyed it because the core premise of what it's doing is fine. It's a world that you keep on building. It's a game that never ends. There is no end. It's supposed to be the what's it called? The Stardew Valley of board games, giving you just build. You build so that you can build, and you do things so that you can do things. And there's no real rhyme or reason or loss or anything else. There's challenges, there's small little things. But then I sat down and played it in person, and I realized that the concept of a world that you just build so you can build, even in prototype form, and it is worth noting, prototype, maybe things will change, the rules can change, the rules can expand, there could be all kinds of differences. But yes. I sat down to play it, and I was like, oh, this is really what it's promising. A world which you can continue to play for the sake of playing, and that's why you're playing it. And while that lasted well in half an hour in TTS, it didn't hold up to sitting down for several hours and playing it.
Oh, man.
And I was like, if it's not going to hold up for several hours, I don't know how it's going to hold up for 50 hours. And I was very clear with this in my review. This is not news. This isn't something I'm holding on to. I was clear of the fact that two things. One is, I think this will work for people. Some people. Depends on who you are. If you were compelled...
That's a big statement, Alex.
Yes. Well, no, because... I mean, some people.
I think this game is like 1.5 million. What do we...
1.5 million, something like that. 1.3 million, I think. But it's a game, meaning I think the caveat is, if you are someone who is concerned about the promise of you play just so that you can keep playing, then I think this game is probably not for you. If you're concerned about that, you should be concerned about that. That's a real concern. If you are not concerned about that, if you're intrigued by that, if you find that endearing or promising, then go ahead. I think you'll like this game. I know the people who dived into it, who've played this one, who've enjoyed it. And so for me, it's one that... I thought it was innovative, and I thought it was cool, and I thought the premise was fascinating, and I had concerns. But I was like, it sounds, I mean, it's cool, it's innovative, and it's going to deliver. And then I played it for a few hours, and I was like, oh, it got old quickly for me in those few hours. Again, prototype, all those caveats. But my review is very much as a first impressions with like both sides. It was, here's all the reasons it might work for you, here's all the reasons it might not. And also, full disclaimer, I'm not a Stardew Valley type person. I don't play those games on PCs. I don't find that concept interesting. But I like board games more than I like video games, so I thought it might work for me in a board game. But it disappoints me.
You're saying it's very much built like that. It's very much...
I don't play those ones enough to know if it's built like that, but the premise of like, I play games which have goals and objectives other than you just keep doing things so that you can live in the world. You're playing Animal Crossing, I have no interest in that kind of thing. It's just not my genre. So the closest thing I ever liked in that was games like Wilkes Tycoon. That's fantastic. But yeah, it's I don't know if I'm not the target audience or not, but target audience or not, it definitely was a disappointment for me.
Yeah. I was really on the fence in backing this one, but I don't know. I'll give it a look. I think it seems still like something I would like. It's just one of those games that you get fishy, man. It's right in that $100 range, and if it's not pulling you right away, like, do you do it? And for me, the answer is always no. But I always research these things a little bit later after I've seen more developments on it. I'll probably come back to it. I probably won't, though.
Well, the answer was solid. My biggest thing in it was just, if you're compelled by it, go for it. If you're scared of it, there's what to be scared of.
That's saying a lot and nothing at the same time.
No, I'm saying if you hear a game that keeps on playing itself forever with no endpoint, and you're not intimidated by that, go for it. But if you're like, how does it even work? You might find yourself like me, not working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. More
Like, let me give you an
versus
example, just from other games from other lists. If you said to me, I don't like trick taking, I'd still say to you, play The Crew and play this other game, but some games maybe you shouldn't play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
Anyways, yours.
By the way, that game that I was talking about on your video is called Pirate Tricks, not Space Tricks.
Pirate Tricks.
Noted.
All
right. Anyway. So my next one is, and this is a game I reviewed for our channel. It's called Merchant's Cove.
Oh.
Now, Merchant's Cove was really, really unfortunate because this is the type of game that I look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the type of game I definitely look forward to. Games like this, asymmetric, like root level, like we're all different factions. I got a game right here, Defense of the Prycon.
Oh, man. Okay.
Like Prycon, like I want a game like that. Give me asymmetry. Give me people who are playing the same game but from a totally different angle. And give me modules galore. Give me options. Give me AIs. Every AI is different. It seems like it was all there, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
What happened is each board is its own little game,
mm-hmm.
but the way they play is so
disconnected,
straightforward,
mm-hmm.
to the point where they're not fun mini games because they're all fun. They're all like mini games.
Yeah.
The thing is that I didn't like two of them in the base game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't like two of them.
The Forge. So you didn't like the Forge? Oh, you didn't like the Potion Explosion?
Well,
okay.
I didn't like the Forge, and I didn't like the Potion Explosion one. They were just completely not. I wasn't feeling them at all. And by the way, the component quality on that Potion one was pretty bad to me. And then I love this one just because it's risky, and I get to like smack a board and see what I get.
Yeah.
That's so me.
Yeah.
And the other one,
the Time Mancer or whatever it
was.
Time
one is that was like the heaviest one.
Yeah.
So I liked it a lot. Now the expansions, unfortunately, the expansion characters are awesome.
But, yeah.
All of them are awesome. So that's the thing. Like even the Dragon Rancher is awesome. Like I wish they put that in the game. It was more exciting. But or the bar, that one I didn't like too much. The bar one was okay. But then there's even a secret character inside the stash box. I didn't play as that one, but I played all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found overall the game, man, it's just unfortunate, man, because there is a really good set of designs in there. Now, if you told me you played this game solo, just like I said in the review,
mm-hmm.
if you play this game solo, you would look me dead in my eye and tell me I am an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. This game's awesome. I totally feel you on that one, because the best way to play this game to me is solo. If you were to own this game, this is a solo only purchase, I think, for a lot of people.
I'm just waiting for you to be done. I'm gonna disagree with you.
But this game right here, I think especially after you play the Forge character, you're not going to want to play as him again. If you play as the Potion Explosion character, I've done this before. I've done this game before. I'm not going to play as this person anymore. So what do I have? What are the options I have here? All right, so I have these two. Maybe I don't like risky stuff where I flick something and I don't know what resources I'm getting every time or what actions I'm getting every time. So that could be a dud.
The captain's gone. Yep.
Right. So then now you have two or three characters you may not be excited about because maybe you want a heavier game. Maybe you thought you were getting a heavier game, which is on you because you got to research your games.
Mm-hmm.
But I found that, and I don't do that because I love a wide range of games. I was just looking for a game. I was just looking for something that felt like I'm going to be trying to push for a different strategy every time. And I guess what this design was trying to tell me is by having these four characters, you should have enough to say, hey, like I need to figure out multiple strategies with these characters. And I never felt like I was doing anything different. I played each one of them 2 times, and I felt like, ooh, I didn't learn a new wrinkle in this design every time I played it. I was just like, okay, like I'm good.
So I agree and disagree.
I'll never play as this.
I first of all, as a side point, I have a soft spot for the Forge character, not because I think it's the best design. I agree it's the weakest design, but because my first game of this was me playing as the captain and Jesse playing as the Forge character, and Jesse Quackalope, and then I won as the captain with like 100 points, and Jesse's like, it's the characters, and I was like, I don't think it is. I think you're not playing it well. and then we swapped places, and then I won with the Forge character by like 100 points. So I have a soft spot towards the Forge character just because of that story. But aside from that,
Okay.
I agree with you on most of what you're saying, with one major caveat. My opinion of Merchant's Cove, and when I was scrolling through my list putting this together, I debated including Merchant's Cove because it's 100% not what I expected. But it's not, for me, a disappointment. I thought I was getting a heavier game, and it wasn't. But I really enjoyed the game I got. I agree completely with the critique of once you've played any given character like 2 times, and I haven't played with some of the expansion characters yet, so I haven't played it all yet. I still want to go through it all, but at least with the base game characters, once you've played any given one 2 times, you've kind of played through the strategy. The Forge character max twice, the Potion character max twice, the Chronomancer and the Captain maybe 3 times, but that's 10 plays from the base game alone. And if you have the expansion, that's more. This is a game that, for me, I do not believe that stays in my collection long term. But I believe that between the base game and the expansion characters and the secret stash, I believe this game is going to hit 15, 20 plays before I get rid of it, because I want to see it all. Not because I want to master the strategy of any one character, but because I want to explore this game, because I think it's a solid core with weak minigames, but different minigames. And different in its own right is almost an experience unto itself.
So here's the thing. Another thing about it. Without the secret stash, and I had to make sure that people know this, without the secret stash, you don't have much at all. Like, not much at all. Like, the secret stash has so much content in it. I mean, a ton of content. It adds so many modules, so many cards to make the gameplay interesting as far as the people that you're recruiting come out. And that there's like a little board that each one of you have that you are triggering these townsfolk off of.
Yeah.
But that part right there, just having different cards that come into play when the boats come into town.
Yeah.
So you have those as well. And like without that, like you only have, I think, 3 in the base game. So there's like 20 in the stash box. So you go from 3 to like 17 more choices for what happens when these boats come in, or when I think a black person a rogue gets pulled out. So you have all these little different things that happen. Mechanically, you would think it'd be cool, but like I said, if you have the base game, you are really getting sold short on the experience, unfortunately.
I agree with that.
I had to make sure I emphasize that, because it's like all the fun that this design has is $30 away from the base game, and the base game is a very expensive base game.
Yes, that part I'll 100% give you. I think that there was I think it's like me and Mike DeLucio against the world in this one. We're like holding this one high because like I think it's a really good game. I understand some of the critiques, I understand some of the complaints, but it's fun. Like I want to play this. I just need people willing to move, because Jesse won't, sadly. But yeah, actually, that's not true. That's not true. He still wants to play with expansion characters, so I can still get some more plays out of him.
He sits on a throne of lies. If I went over there and I said, "Hey, let's play Merchant's Cove," he'd be like,
We'll see. I'll tempt him. I'll do what I can. I want to play this. At this point, the only way it leaves my collection before I play everything else is if I can't get it tabled. Otherwise, I want to go through it all. I've enjoyed diving into the new characters. Do they have depth? No, but they have variability.
No.
Yeah. Anyways, that's yours, which brings me to my number 2. We're getting towards the end here. 2 left on each. My number 2 is one that, again, it's a good game, solid game. I'm not going to go on for a lot, but it was fun, it was solid, it's great, but it's just, I just wanted more, and so I ended up keeping its Big Brothers instead. And this one is Zombicide 2nd Edition.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got Zombicide 2nd Edition. I was like, hey, you know what? I have Black Plague. I have Invader. Let's go ahead and get 2nd Edition. There's a lot of things in here that look cool. It looks great. I'm going to dive into this one. I avoided the original Modern because the game design of Zombicide had evolved by the time I got into it, and I couldn't go back to Modern. But I get this is my chance to get into Modern. I will get 2nd Edition. I will play this game. I will blow up these tiles on the screen here. I will see more about this experience, and I offered a few things that were well done. I offered campaign mode that was great, the character art was great, the design, everything was just great left, right, and center, except for the fact that I find it way too easy. Like, way too easy. I like the game with the caveat that I find the general experience of Zombicide 2nd Edition to be like, it got to a point we were playing through this game that Shira, one of the people in our group, was going through the game and literally just making stupid choices that would, in theory, if we were playing Black Plague, get us all killed. And we're like, no, you can't run over to there and that giant horde of zombies. You'll die. And she's like, no, I got this. And she got us. She totally had it. There was nothing she could do to actually make herself die. She's running through the worst possible threats, and she couldn't die. We were just taking out. We were just cleaning up the mess after. It was easy. It was no problem. At no point did we ever really feel the threat of death in Zombicide Second Edition. And granted, we are hardcore Zombicide players. We play a lot of it. I tried modding the deck. I tried upping the difficulty. It just never got to be what I wanted without some massive overhauls. And so I liked it. I enjoyed it. We played through a full campaign. Got like 12 plus plays or whatever it was between the base game and the campaign experience of 10 plays. Yeah. Really solid, really fun. And I was done with it. I was ready to move on. And this one was, I was hoping it would last for more than like 3 months in my collection. It lasted 3 months in my collection.
I will play any Zombicide game.
Except?
But I feel nothing.
Nothing?
I feel nothing.
Oh.
I just don't feel anything. Like I want to try them all. And I found that the newer ones with the theme changes have excited me a little bit more. Like that Western one we played, that was fun.
Marvel Zombies is coming.
Marvel Zombies. Hopefully, I get a chance to play that. But like, honestly, like, it just like it's been a while since I really even, really even cared about that. Like it's just what it does. So yeah, it's nothing against the game. When I first got into this hobby, I got Zombicide and Zombicide. Was it Black Plague or whatever?
And Green Horde.
Oh man, I mean, I was all up on Zombicide, and then something happened. I just moved away from it. But I found, I wondered what this second edition did.
Not enough.
Then I was like, no, I'll pass. I'm trying to jump into something I shouldn't be jumping into.
I'm curious whether Marvel Zombies works for you, because Marvel Zombies is the first time I think it's been a actual rehaul, not just like here's 2 rule tweaks in the same game. There's a decent amount of overhaul, plus it's a good theme, plus it's difficult. Black Plague has been my gold standard in the Zombicide universe for a long time. I would get rid of Black Plague if I had to choose between the two of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say, I think you're always gonna hear that feedback. It's a rinse repeat. It's rinse repeat. I'm like, that's such a backhand to people who design board games. But these things,
I don't mean it as a backhand in that sense. I'm saying it's just practically speaking, if you haven't enjoyed the Zombicide universe and the small changes they've made have not been enough for you, I think this is a bigger shift. That's all.
Yeah. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying, like, some people were like, oh, it's just rinse repeat. I'm like, no, if you've played these, which people haven't gotten their hands on the Kickstarter games that have changed some of these things, you'll feel the difference. But I think, I mean, I passed on this one, but it's interesting to hear perspectives on it.
Yep.
By the way, I have a solo co-op video, which I don't know when this is going to be airing or whatever, and I think this is one of somebody's game of the year.
Game of the year for solo? Listen, I can understand people loving this one. I think part of my concern around the Zombicide genre in general, a true concern that's not held true for Marvel Zombies, which is nice, is that they're making it easier to make it more accessible to people. I love the difficulty of it. For me, I love the fact that I have to really struggle to work to survive, and I only really get that in Black Plague. Every other Zombicide does not give it to me until Marvel Zombies, where, well, I don't want to spoil things, but we have to work on that one. Yeah. Anyways, you're number 2, sir.
Yeah. All right. I'm so petty. I can't. I hate that I even have to say this, but it's how I feel. So it's really like, this game is like, I feel like I'm being petty by saying this game, because I have not much to add, but it was just such a disappointment to me.
Okay.
Is the Ratcatcher.
What? No.
The Ratcatcher.
No.
First of all, does anybody know how to play this game? Correctly?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I
don't tell me you learned the rules from Jesse.
No. I have the game, but I haven't played it yet, so I don't know anything about it.
No, the rule book for me was it was really lackluster. I mean, don't get me wrong. The aesthetics of this game looks gorgeous. They got all the money they could out of the Kickstarter, so it's like they got a whole bunch of nice components, like that little rat catch thing. It's awesome. The artwork on it is awesome. You see the rat trying to get out of there. Like, everything is on there, but the card, the board, like that, it's too small. There's it's so hard to understand how to play this game. The rule book is such a barrier, and the graphics in there, some of them don't even explain they don't show what they're explaining in the picture examples, or they don't match up.
Okay.
So I was really struggling to learn how to play the game. Very, very much so. I was going to contact the designer and be like, hey, like, tell me how to play your game. Like, walk me through a turn.
And
I was like, I shouldn't have to do that because I'm a customer like everybody else. So, you know, I feel like I'm just going to rag on this game because there are people who are enjoying it, and I'm actually wondering if they're playing it correctly. I am actually wondering if they're playing it correctly.
I mean, honestly, for me, my bar is enjoyment. I don't care past that, but fair.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's just like, the thing is that over time, when I was trying to figure things out over and over again, I just got frustrated.
Yeah.
And I got really, really frustrated with this game in a very short amount of time. And the one thing I will say is that it's thematically cool, and it seems like what you're doing is interesting enough. If they can clean this up and make it like a second printing, I'm in.
Okay.
Because it's a solo only game. They had enough boss variety. I just didn't get through all of it because I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I don't know.
I need to sit down and play this now.
But it's like, yeah, it was one of those games where I was just like, there's good ideas in here. I will come back to this when there's a second edition, but for right now, I am very, very, very disappointed. I mean, I bugged the designer about this game. I tried to import it. I ordered it from a place I didn't want to order it from. And then I finally got it to me, and I was just like,
it wasn't for you. I mean, it wasn't.
Don't be blinded by the beauty, though.
Yeah.
Don't even be blinded. The beauty is there. The beautiful hand artwork is there. It's gorgeous, and the meeples are gorgeous. It's got a cool art, and don't get me wrong. It's got that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a letdown, man.
I'm gonna have to dive into the rulebook and see, because I still want to like this game, and I've heard enough good things that I will not let you ruin it for me in advance. We'll see.
What's it rated? It's rated a
7.2. 7.2. It's not like amazing. It's not bad. It's a good, solid, worth paying attention to, with caveats that it might let you down. Like, the rulebook is a mess, but the game is good.
Look at what? Oh, really?
First rating, number 7. The rulebook's a mess, but the game is good. Yeah. Rulers point to the art, you'd have to look through some of the ratings over here, but there's definitely...
Jesse oversold this game. I see this comment here. No.
He loves it. I know he loves it. I just hope he's not wrong.
I know he loves this game. I'm just ragging on him.
So the good news is I actually align with you and Jesse the same amount, which is both of you. I align with you like roughly 75-80%. With that 20%, that's enough to be like, I can't take you guys seriously for 100%. Yeah. It's a good testament, but not a guarantee. All right, my number one. My number one is...
They put that on the tray list. I love that on the tray. Oh no, it's just ratings. But I just love that somebody just wrote that. Rulebook's a mess.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead for my number one. My number one is the only other time that I'm semi-cheating. BloodStone was my biggest disappointment in terms of the fact that it was pushed off. But my number one is a disappointment, but not in the game itself, but specifically my second play of the game. My first play was actually everything that I was looking forward to. It was everything it lived up to, and I loved it, and I was eager to take. I heard good things. It was well rated. I dived into it. I loved it. Then I played it a second time, and I was like, that was so bad that I have struggled to get it to the table again since, although I know I need to. My number one is Nemesis. My second play of Nemesis specifically.
Ooh, we just talked about this
I know we did. Oh. My first play of Nemesis. I mean, what is this? What's ranked? It's ranked number 21, number 20 on Board Game Geek. It's number 17. Yeah. Number 17, dude. 17. And I was like, this game is... I finally tabled it. I loved it. I was like, this is one of the better game experiences I've ever had. It was thematic. It was tactical. It was live or die. It was beautiful. I cannot wait to table this again. And then I tabled it again. And I was like, that was slow. That was annoying. That was frustrating. The things didn't work out well. It was just not the experience I was looking for. And so coming off the huge high from the first game, going to the low of the second game, this is a game that I'm going to struggle. And by the way, a big difference is co-op versus semi-co-op. The first game we played was co-op, and I loved it.
Yes.
The second game was semi-co-op, and I did not enjoy the experience. And I think semi-co-op is the way people traditionally like it, though. I think that's the...
I like it semi. This is one of the few games that I like semi-co-op a lot.
I'm gonna have to struggle to play this one again semi-co-op because I'm gonna dive back into this and it's gonna be co-op just to remind myself how much I like it. At some point, I will play it again semi-co-op, but it's gonna be because the problem is it's not a short game. So signing up for a 2.5, 3 hour session of a game that was bad when I played it semi-co-op, I'm gonna have to really gear up for the potential that I'm signing up for another 2.5 hours, 3 hours of not a good game. And it might be the group dynamic. And I say that because everyone at the table did not enjoy themselves. It was 5 people, none of them enjoyed themselves. It was it was not a good game. So like again, I think Nemesis huge potential. If it continues, and I put this in my top 100, very tippy top. It's like 98, something like that. But it's at the tippy top because it was so good when I played it one way, and it was so not fun when I played it the other. That I'm wrestling with this. Now, I've heard good things about Lockdown as well, so that will also get its own fair shake in the sun when it shows up. But that's my number one.
Yeah.
My number one.
I just got rid of Nemesis, and it's only because I played Nemesis Lockdown. Did you play that? Were you playing
I never played Lockdown.
It was me and Jesse.
You and Jesse.
Okay, so it was me and Jesse, the publisher, and we recorded something. And I just had a hell of a good time. And that stayed in my mind, and I was like, that's a better feeling than Nemesis.
And I know Jesse feels the same way, so I'm curious.
So I was like, this like the kind of, even the semi-cooperative part was just, it's like, that's actually pretty fun other than just going and pressing a button, screwing everybody up, and you're gone. Like, there's actually there was just way more thematic stuff going on.
Yeah.
That's what I would just say. There's more thematic things going on. Whether, and not to say this game isn't thematic, it's thematically sound. It's very thematic. It's one of the most thematic games I've ever played. I just felt like, as I was thinking about what games to get rid of, I thought about this game. I said, 1, am I going to break it out again? 2, I have played this, the sequel, and it's just far better to me. It left like a anticipation with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to let it go. And it's a great game. It's not a good game. It's a great game. But, I had to move on from it. I understand how people move on from it. This game, for solo players, I don't know why they love it that much. It's okay solo. But, hey, man, to each their own, man. To each their own. For solo play, though, it's okay. I think Lockdown's going to be better, though. I think Lockdown's just going to be a better game. Yeah.
Maybe my solution to my problem is just play a Lockdown, and if I like it, I just call it a day Nemesis.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I like it, that might be what I do.
Yeah.
Anyways, you're number one, sir.
This hurts. This hurts. Oh, this hurts. It's one of my favorite games ever. Tsukuyumi, man. Ah, Tsukuyumi. Tsukuy.
Yeah.
Tsukuyumi. Full Moon. First of all, my friend. My friend is with this publisher. And this game is basically like a skirmish game. You're, once again, what were we talking about? Asymmetrical. So all these asymmetrical powers, you're fighting across this map. It is by far the best of this genre I have played. Like, this is the gold standard for me. And it had its lumps in its base version, but the execution, the quality, the errors, just all that stuff, man, it hurt. Oh, it hurt so bad. I was so hyped for this game. I reviewed it on my old channel before I was with Man vs. Meeple.
Sure.
And I was singing from the rooftops for this game. And the miniature quality in this one is not so good. There was just a lot of stuff when I was looking at this product. The product, I was not happy with the product. And
this is King Raccoon, right?
Yeah, King Raccoon, but Gray Fox did this installment.
Gotcha.
They did the miniatures installment of the game. So what you're looking at is the Gray Fox installment.
Gotcha.
And they didn't come paint it like that.
Yeah, of course.
And they came with a ton of errata cards and tons of replacements, and it just, man, this game is so damn good. It is so damn good. And the execution on this one hurts so much. And I just don't want it. I'm looking for the old copy. I'm going to go get the older copy of the game that's got old chits and stuff like that.
I think they're coming back to
'cause
Kickstarter with
that
a
one just
reprint and expansion, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, man.
It's gonna be a hard sell to people
know.
skeptical from this one.
Hard sell, man. Hard sell on that one. I mean, I love it enough where I might consider it, but that was tough. That was a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough. Because execution means a lot to me, and when you don't execute, I mean, hey, man, what can I say? But that was a big letdown because that's another one hovering around my top 20-ish games, and to have it not be what I wanted it really hurt. And I was like, damn, man. like I really was looking, like my friends were like so excited that I was excited about it. Like I have a couple people I played it with back when it was a prototype, when I got that base game back in the day, and they were like, dude, oh my god, it's here, let's play. And I was like, man, I don't want it. Like after I saw some of the minis, like all this stuff, I'm like, are you kidding me?
That hurts.
And yeah, I wanted to play as the whales.
Yeah, I saw that picture. What's up with that? Like, this is a faction?
All these different factions do. Yeah, so all these different factions have ways of growing their troops and different ways they affect the areas around them. You have ways in and ways out of certain tiles. There's hogs that go under the tiles and come up with other parts of the tiles. There's these cybernetic ninja people that have like all this tech they shoot out in the sky. They have like drones. You have your soldiers who dude, the thing is, this game is so good. Like these guys right here who are painting, these professional painters are making these miniatures look good when they weren't. Okay. I'm serious, man. This game is so good. And
those are beautiful.
Yeah, man, damn, this painting.
this guy should be in touch.
Yeah, whoever this person is, I'm hiring them. So, yeah, I just, yeah, and there were still errors after.
It's tough.
You can be blinded by beauty, man. You can be blinded by beauty. These pictures are not doing any justice to me being disappointed, brother. These are really well painted miniatures.
You're like, I'm telling you, it was not good.
I'm telling you that these are. That's great stuff. Whoever this guy is, absolutely amazing painter.
Yeah.
But they don't come like that, folks. They come in red and opaque colors. But yeah, definitely. If I can track down one of the older copies, I think I'm going to do that because this was just not my not to my liking. Oh, and they had pandas. I didn't play as the panda race. The bugs. Oh, dude, the bug miniatures are not good. Oh my god. They're not good. So yeah, just a disappointing product.
Yeah.
No way this game is disappointing. The product and the delivery really hurt this time around. Unfortunate, man.
Makes sense. Well, that's the end of the list. Yeah,
man. So I had a lot of other ones, but I just think overall, man, they can't all be great, and they can't all be, they're not all terrible just because they didn't work. Like this last one just hurt because it was like such a disappointment. The game is still good. And there's a lot of games that we play this whole year, and during this year, it's just like, I even said this when I was on the 10 games I hate. There are just games that are they're just so forgettable. I don't even think about it. I don't even think of it when it comes to a list like this. You're looking at, you're like, that game is so gone. I forgot how much I even threw it out before I even think of something. So there are games that are like that, but I'll just end it with my dancing shoes on and say, hey, man, most games are good or okay.
Most games are.
They are forgettable because there's so many of them.
Yes.
And that's not a bad thing, but there are the few that you really want, you're invested in. You're like, oh, this is going to be cool. And then you sit down and you play and you go, that was less than cool.
Yeah. That's why for me, this list was disappointments. This was just things I had high expectations for. The amount of games that I could have put in, like 10 games that are forgettable. I mean, there's a lot more than 10 that are forgettable. There's a lot more than 10
There's a lot more than 10 that are forgettable.
And not because they're bad, just because there's a lot of good games, and being good doesn't make you stand out anymore. But this is not about forgettable games. This is about games I had high expectations for, and in some way, shape, or form didn't meet, even if they exceeded other forgettable games. Yep.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on here, man, and thanks for doing basically your content on our channel.
This is a blast. I like this stuff.
No, but thank you so much for your time, man, and thanks for coming on here. We'll probably have you back on again soon if you bring better games to talk about and not rag on Merchants of the Dark Road.
Sounds like a plan.
No, it's okay, man. All right, party people, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you like this list. If you liked it, please let us know what your disappointments are in the comments below, and please don't forget, please hit that like button. We really appreciate that. And without further ado, you guys take care and have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me on MVM.